Greetings, strangers, queer and pleasant. I'm not Laura Kate Magnet Dale.
And I'm not Jane Eyre's Magnet Dale. And welcome to another episode of Queer and Pleasant Strangers. It's a podcast with two wifey types, queery ones.
Queer, pleasant, strange.
Yeah, and we talk about stuff what we have experienced in the week and do silly stuff.
Except it's 2 weeks again.
Is close enough.
Yeah.
Nearly a week.
Nearly, and here's smudge.
And here's smudge. How are you doing today, my lovely?
I finally managed to kick that cough, which was bothering me last time we recorded.
It's been coming and going with you for a while.
Yeah, I feel like the more often I get COVID, the worse my body manages with life thereafter.
What? As if it has some sort of long-affecting condition to it?
Yeah, I'd mind less if I didn't wear a mask basically everywhere I fucking go.
Yeah. For considering that we're a pair of people that mask more than most people I know, the fact that you have gotten it more than once feels very unfair.
Yes, extremely.
Very unfair.
Indeed.
Well, what have you been playing this last couple of weeks?
I've been playing with these little ears.
You have little ears.
I've got little teddy bear ears on this hoodie.
The cuddliest, fluffiest crop top hoodie.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw this on eBay. I was like, that looks like the material I want. And it says it's a 4XXL. And I arrived today, and I was like, oh, the sleeves go all the way down. That's lovely. I'm very impressed with the sleeve length. For me, as tall as I am, finding the sleeves the right size. And the hat goes, the head goes over the top nicely, and it's a nice sort of size for that. And then it goes to just under my titties. It stops somewhere around my waist.
Yeah, it sure does warm your arms and head and titties, and not your any further down.
No, I like a hoodie that goes over my bum. This is not that at all.
I would settle for a hoodie that reaches the belly button.
Right?
This is considerably a ways off of reaching that.
Yeah. Like, am I supposed to have my belly out? Is this for medium to chilly girl winter? We've had hot girl summer.
Well, I've been playing some stuff recently.
Yeah? What did you play?
Let's... do I start with the good thing or the bad thing that I've experienced playing?
You've only played two things.
Two that feel like particularly relevant to talk about.
I guess start with the good thing. Let's get us in.
Okay. I today started playing Metroid Prime 4 Beyond.
Ooh.
The
one with the incredibly talkative, constantly talking, never stops talking NPCs, I understand.
I mean, really not that bad. Yeah.
I'll the previews. Everyone said.
Give me a second, I'll get there. So yeah, Metroid Prime 4, a game that got announced in 2017 in the first year of the Switch 1's lifespan, when the Switch 1 was like 2 or 3 months old.
Yeah, didn't they start the whole project again at least once?
Yeah, so it's been in development. It was announced in 2017, so 8 years of development. It started development with Namco Bandai, I believe, and like 5 years in, it got scrapped. Don't know what the hell went on with that version of the game.
Released the Namco Bandai cut.
Right. Namco Bandai have worked closely with Nintendo on a bunch of things. Like, they do a bunch of support work on stuff like Smash Brothers, and apparently that version just wasn't cutting it. So they scrapped it, started again with Retro Studios, who were the team that did Metroid Primes 1, 2, and 3, brought back.
People like those?
Yeah. So finally, it was announced in the first year of the Switch 1, it's finally released in the first year of the Switch 2 as a cross-gen release. I've not had a chance to check it out on Switch 1, but on Switch 2, first impressions, because I've played maybe like 3 hours or so at this point, bloody gorgeous video game, that. It's very clear that they spent multiple years making a game that would run solidly at 60 FPS on a Switch 1, and then had a bunch of extra horsepower to play with, and went,
right,
cool, we can push this up to 4K 60. We could do 120 FPS handheld,
wow.
Which Yeah, if you're playing it handheld, you want something that like lets you see the 120 FPS screen on the Switch too. Um, it drops the resolution in handheld mode, I think, down to 720p. I really didn't notice that much of a difference. Its art direction is very strong, such that like it doesn't look bad at that resolution, and the increased fluidity, ooh, totally worth it. Looks bloody gorgeous.
Nice.
Um, it very much follows the formula of a 3D Metroid in that it's like, here's the inciting incident that means that we don't have all the power-ups after the opening sort of action-y set piece where we had all the power-ups. Here is the introduction of the new gimmick power-up and the new suit that does something new in this one. Go and do a bunch of Metroid Prime.
It's very poiple.
Is very poiple. So the structure of this is a little different, and I'm kind of enjoying it. You said you'd had someone describe it this way, and as soon as you said it, I was like, yeah, that is kind of right. Is that it feels a bit like a mix of Metroid Prime and Ocarina of Time.
Yes.
In that it very much seems to have this structure of go to a place, you've got your Hyrule Field equivalent, which is the big desert that you ride around on your motorbike, and then you go to themed area that has like big dungeon you explore, get new power up, use it to fight the boss in a way that is tied to the new power up you got, go to the next area, back via your big Hyrule Field. It's kind of got that pacing to it. I'm really enjoying the new power-up stuff they've introduced so far, which is psychic powers of varying varieties.
Sidekick powers?
Sidekick powers. Which initially are used for things like, I'm unlocking this door by using my mind to move this sort of gemstone around the door or something. But it starts being used for more combat-related-y things. A couple of the early examples I think aren't too spoilery is, you can fire a charge beam
of psychic energy.
Yeah, that like time pauses and you can control the shot in midair, and like direct it through multiple targets and then let go, and it will like have hit multiple things basically simultaneously. There's one where you can create like you can use being in the morph ball to create a ball of energy that you can then suck up and fire at things to power them. Some very neat puzzle potential born out of those, and they feel very natural in how they combine into Samus's moveset. Yeah, to get to the characters of it all, the NPCs. Previews before this game came out talked about an annoying NPC that followed them around for a bit of a level.
Oh no, I heard that it was the entire game and it was terrible and you never felt like you were alone.
Yes. So it's very clear that what people saw in the previews was the opening level that I saw back at the Switch 2 hands-on and the first like proper world you go to.
Right.
And that first proper world you go to does feature a character who talks a little, wow, that just happened.
Get ready to be nerdy in here.
Yeah, a little Marvel movie-ish. And, like, don't get me wrong, I think it was an ill-advised character to add into this game, particularly as early into the game as he appears. I think he is a little at odds with the tone of the game, but he is really not around for that long. He's not as obtrusive as people have made him out to be. You take him to a place and then he's just sort of gone. And I'm like, cool.
You sure you didn't just take him to a place and leave him there?
No, the impression I get is that I'm going to, at other points in the game, find some other NPCs and they're all gonna... There's gonna be, like, a base camp. Where if I go back there, I can go talk to those NPCs if I want to. But they're not going to be, like, bothering me.
You're a base camp.
Now that thought's completely gone.
Sorry.
Yeah. It's for the people who are worried that this game was going to be full of people constantly talking and you'd never get to feel alone and isolated and that sort of Metroid-y tone. Don't worry, that really doesn't seem like it's going to be the case. It's not as bad talkative NPC-wise as something like Metroid Prime 3 or Other M. It's neither as constantly or repeatedly or at length talking at you. It'll occasionally happen, and then you drop an NPC off and you go back to being solitary lone bounty hunter.
And puzzles.
Yeah, whether you're gonna, I can't say that I love that character, but also it feels, for all the things this game is doing amazingly, I think I can forgive like 15 minutes of a slightly nerdy, "Oh, whoa, why didn't anybody tell me?" kind of character. Right now, it's a bloody gorgeous video game. It just feels like a Metroid Prime. For better or worse, it just feels very Metroid Prime. It's a shame you can't do mouse controls with the left Joy-Con if you're left-handed.
It's not like the left Joy-Con doesn't have a mouse function.
Yeah, they just didn't program you to be able to left mouse.
Wow.
For that. So that's a shame for left-handed players. I think you can also only use the right Joy-Con for motion control aiming. I don't think you can set the left Joy-Con to be your motion aiming Joy-Con. They really do seem to have forgotten about the existence of left-handed people. Which is, right now, that's the biggest thing I can point at it, is left-handed people. Sorry, you're probably going to have to stick to traditional controller controls, and they're good controls, just, yeah.
Is there any accessibility settings?
There's a little bit. I made a list. Give me a second. I can find the list of what is in there. I wrote stuff down because I got the game a little early and I made notes. Here we go. So there's difficulty modes when you first set up. You can toggle subtitles on or off. You can turn off tutorials if you don't want to be tutorialed. You've got some audio sliders. You can turn off the HUD swaying in first or third person for motion sicknessy stuff. You can put a subtitle background. You can change the camera sensitivity or inversion and the mouse sensitivity and inversion. Do you want to be able to do motion controls when you're locked on? What's the threshold that you'll sort of let the reticle free aim? Do you want to just be able to like put the controller down and automatically it's in mouse mode? And one that I've not tried but that seems pretty cool is just flick the controller up and go into morph ball mode. So you sort of do like a little flick motion to go into morph ball mode, which seems kind of cool. Not much. You can remap your controls in game. They initially only want you to remap certain controls, but you can press a button to go into advanced mode and go, I'll overwrite that so I can remap everything. I know I might break my own controls, but fuck you, you're not my dad. I'm allowed to remap what I want.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm having a very good time with Metroid Prime 4 so far. That's the thing I've been playing that is good. What about you?
We played a game together.
Yeah? What did we
played
play?
Harmonies.
Oh yeah.
This is a it's got like the factory grabbing of resources from a central board that we've seen in like the Azul games.
Yep.
And then you are building a little environment around you, and it'll have rivers and plains and mountains and trees.
Yeah, you stack little discs to make environments.
Yeah, but not water. Water doesn't stack.
No,
but
I can't stack water on top of water.
You can stack a rock on top of another rock, and then you've got slightly bigger rock.
It's a big rock now.
But if you have two rocks next to each other, and they can be of any height you like, at that point they're a mountain range.
Ooh.
At that point you can start scoring points for them. And on top of that you've got these cards that give you animals, and they want certain kinds of habitats, so you're trying to replicate those patterns on your board with, like, it might be like, we want 2 rocks and plains in a straight line, and then you can put an animal on this particular position. and you can do like some of them have like symmetry, so you can basically try and match the same thing several times, which is seems generally to be the best way to
Yeah, if you can
try and go about
pull
these
it
things.
off.
Yeah. I won, which is unusual for a new game, especially since it was a game some friends brought over for us to try out.
Yeah.
And I usually expect people who've already played the game to win first time. So I did alright. Despite the fact that I was going, I don't have the things I need.
Oh, I can't get any stone. I can't get any stone. I'm losing because I can't get any stone. Oh, I won and I got way more stone than Laura did. I can't get any stone and I'm losing.
I had 9 out of 23 stone.
Yeah, you were sat
game.
next to me, winning the game and in first place going, I'm losing because I can't get any of the stone. Oh, you have like a third of the stone that I do, Laura. I can't get any stone. I'm Jane.
Wow.
That's how you sounded.
That's how I sounded.
Yeah.
Okay, wow. This has been the last episode of Criminal Defense. Wow.
I'm joking and being
I love
silly.
you. I love you very much. Yeah, I mean, it was a first play, so I didn't really have any way of, like, judging things. It didn't help that I'd gone, alright, my special animal wants me to have a lot of stone. So, I guess I will pick up animals that also will play into the amount of stone. And we had several rounds where no stone came out of the bag. So I was just like, well, I guess I'll get all the bits for a tree then. I guess I'll get all the bits for another tree.
What?
And what I ended up doing was putting a bunch of really tall trees around the edge of my board to the point where they were worth an absolute fortune.
What?
Then my special animal was worth an absolute fortune. And then I did just about manage to squeeze enough things out of stone and water or stone and plains, but I did not build a single house. You built a few houses.
I was trying to build. Here's how the game went for me. I tried to do a diverse array of things because I was like, I can't guarantee what's going to be available in the drafting, so I should try and not overcommit and not need more than like 3 or 4 of a thing at any time. And what you had done was pick up everything that required rock and then took half of the game's rocks in a 4-player game and went, I took every card that needs rock and half of the game's rocks isn't enough. Why won't you give me more rocks? 25% of the game's rocks, no, I need double that and then I need more. And I'm here just trying to be like, can I get 4 rocks total in the entire game? Because that would really have... My score would have shot up if I could have got 1 more rock. I was on 3, and I was like, nope, I just can't get that 4th rock that will make all of these other things suddenly start working.
I'm sorry.
I had a very diverse array.
I'm sorry.
And the linchpin was I just need 1 little rock in this gap and everything will score points.
I didn't know any better.
And then I had no rock.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. I think fundamentally I did do the sensible game design
100%.
choice. I just could not have accounted for 4 rocks out of 22 will be too much for me to ask. Could not have prepared for that.
Hey. If they'd come out on my turn, you'd have got those rocks. And I'm sure that's how you got your rocks.
What, the 3 rocks I got?
Yeah. I feel like they were picked out of the bag by me when I was refilling the factories.
I believe the only time I got rocks was at the start of the game when rocks got dealt out into 2 of the things, so you couldn't take all of them.
Wow.
I got rocks the one time you took rocks and there were still rocks left over after you took rocks. I think that's the one time I got rocks.
Okay, I'm the terrible 1% rock hoarder.
I love you. I'm being silly.
I'm also being silly.
It was an amusingly frustrating game to play from my position. I was like, just one rock. Fuck. Because I think the thing that it says about that game's design is that you do have to kind of pre-prepare, like you're putting pieces in positions on the board and going, I'm putting it here because once I put X and Y around it, it's going to knock off like 3 or 4 different quests I'm working toward. And the problem, I think, is if you can't get that linchpin, all of those other things you've built sort of
worthless
with that position as like the linchpin of suddenly don't score.
No.
And that's a thing that I think in 2-player would be less of a frequent issue, but in 4-player, it is possible to just go, I didn't realise quick enough that I have built this structure assuming I can get a linchpin that might just be hoarded by other players.
Yeah.
And there's no good course-correcting mechanic if you go, I'm suddenly realizing I wish I hadn't put my one stone here because it won't do me anything unless I can put one on top of it, and I could have put something else there that would have been easier for me to achieve.
Yes.
But I can't, like, move that one stone out the way and have that space free again.
Yeah.
Because there's no... I need to tweak my game plan mechanics. You just kind of have to barrel forward with what you've committed to.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. I thought it was really interesting, an interesting idea on that spin on that sort of Azul thing of get tiles, place tiles. I like that there's not only the animals' way of scoring, but like the individual like bits of scenery have their own ways of scoring. So, like your longest river, and your like fields, as long as there's like sets of I think it's 2 or more.
Yeah.
Are worth like a set amount, and then mountains are worth depending on how tall they are, but they also have to be touching at least one other rock, otherwise they don't count.
Mm-hmm.
And then houses had their own little thing about what stuff was around them that was really interesting.
They needed 3 unique colours of tiles surrounding them directly at the end of the game.
Yeah, it was an interesting idea. A small box. Seems like mostly recyclable parts because all the tokens were wood. Yeah, lots of wood and cardboard. I like this. Less plastic, more of that.
Yeah, it's a neat little game.
I was recently reminded of the fact that Earthborn Rangers has restocked in a bunch of places because it was out of stock for Fuck It Out print for ages. I think they did really well on their first print. Apparently, the designer of that game handed it to someone and went, and when you finish playing it, you can just take it in the garden and bury it, because every part of this is entirely biodegradable.
Yay!
I mean, don't.
But you could.
Yeah. But,
In terms of impact on the Earth, you could do that.
Yeah. What about you? What else have you played?
I'm gonna talk about Lander 23. Yeah.
Strap in, folks.
So, I went and tried out a live theatre, interactive theatre / video game experience.
Yeah.
Set in space in London.
You love live interactive experiences.
Yeah,
Space.
I love things. I love things in London that are sci-fi themed and a kind of live theatre, kind of video game you live in that take about 90 minutes. I love those.
Yeah.
This one is by a company called Punch Drunk, and I, for a £5, went to one of their like tech rehearsal practice sessions that they were doing like 3 days before the big public launch, and I have thoughts. I'm going to start by saying, in theory, what this event is. It is pitched as a 90-minute experience where you are going to... It's not made clear initially what you're going to be doing with this 90 minutes, but you're going to be crawling around, hiding from things. Oh, it's going to be very spooky in nature. You're going to be crawling under things in the dark, and it's going to be space-related. The concept is... There is a special resource that's important for energy. Humanity needs this space resource for energy. Cough, cough, it's not gravium from Bridge Command. No.
It's like invisible pollen.
It's like invisible pollen that we've got to go to space and get the invisible pollen.
But
it's a limited resource.
You can only go out there for 15 minutes because it's radioactive.
Yeah, but because it's invisible, you're going to be in groups of 4, where 2 people go out to collect the invisible pollen, and they have like radio packs and numbers on their vests, and they're trying to avoid guards that are maybe aliens looking for them. If they see your number, you lose a life.
And tickets are only sold in pairs, specifically so that each of you will get a chance to be on the headset. And
yeah, and we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But in theory, it's 2 of you are going out and collecting the invisible pollen, and because you've got these radios and tracking things on you, two people are in like the back on the ship looking at dots moving around a map, and that's you, and they're leading you to find the invisible energy stuff. And you do a spell finding the invisible energy. You do a spell at the desk in theory. So when you arrive, I'm now going to talk about the reality of the thing. You arrive and you sit down at some tables in like a kind of dimly lit room with some lights on the tables, and you read through like a little dossier explaining how this is all going to work, kind of. It's not terribly well explained. It has some admittedly well done, like rubber hose animation, rubber hose art style illustrations.
It's got real Benny and the Ink Machine vibes.
Yeah,
but that doesn't really feel necessarily in keeping with the space.
Yeah,
stuff.
it's nice aesthetically. It was not representative of like the experience we were about to do. No. We sit there for a while. The thing runs late. Our pair shows up, and the other pair that have booked tickets at our like group, only one person showed up of the two.
Yes.
And that caused a problem.
Yes.
Because, as it turns out, and this is not well explained, and this kind of ruined our first shift, is if you're the two going out onto the planet, there has to be two people going out onto the planet, because those two people have to be together when you find the invisible energy. You can't collect the invisible energy unless you're together.
How would you even?
Right. This was not explained to us the first time. So the first time we went out, like, oh, torches are happening, we're about to get caught. We kind of split up slightly because the first time everyone gets down to the planet, everyone hid in the same one hiding place because they were panicking.
Yeah.
So we kind of scrambled slightly, not knowing we had to be together to collect the energy. So we kind of wasted our first trip down to the planet. But then it became time to swap, and like the one person who'd been our person on the radio, it was their turn to go out and collect the invisible energy. Oh no, they need a second person to go out with them. One of us had to go out to the planet twice, couldn't...
But you'd already hit your maximum radiation.
Yeah, no, it kind of required us to completely ignore the fiction of, like, you're not supposed to go out for more than 15 minutes because of radiation or whatever. So I didn't get to do a turn on the overhead being on the comms.
No.
Not that I think it would have mattered, because the radio connection was fucking god-awful.
What? This essentially entirely powered by radios thing.
Yeah, this experience that only... Because the thing you're collecting is invisible. This experience only works if you can understand what is being said to you over the radio by the person who can see where the invisible energy is.
But from what you understand, the person... Their only gameplay is tell you where to go to find the radiance.
Yes.
Then stand there and get the thing. And that is their whole thing. Which isn't really compatible with the other aspects of the game.
Yeah, that's what I was about to get to, is, in theory, if you're the one sent down to the planet, and I should probably say, they have, like, a very big warehouse set up to be, like, different shops and buildings, and, like, it feels... Not like you've gone to an alien planet. It feels like you've been dropped onto, like, a post-apocalypse Earth. You like in the ruins of old Earth or something. And, like, it's an impressive physical set that they have. But, yeah, there are other gameplay elements hidden in that environment, such as, like, tape recorders hidden around, and, like, apparently there were some, like, golden tickets, or, quote-unquote... ancient, historically relevant artifacts, or whatever, that, in theory, if you're the team going into the planet, you're only really told about the golden tickets in the second half. You might want to go and, like, explore a bit and try and find, like, the hidden tapes that have plot, or, like, the golden tickets that maybe do something. But you can't really, because the one time I, like, hid in a nook and then realised there was, like, one of the cassette tapes was in there, I wanted to I hit play and I wanted to stop and listen to the plot for a minute. And all I had was, this is one of the few times that the radio was working. I've got the person in my headset going, why are you staying there? Why aren't you moving? You've got to move east. You've got to move that way to get to the hidden invisible thing. And I'm like, I found one of the 4 cassettes. I would like to listen to it. And, like, the realization hit me that it's like, oh, while I'm listening to this...
You can't hear it because the radio's terrible.
Yeah, you don't get to do any gameplay. You just have to sit there while I get gameplay.
Yeah.
And I can understand why you're incentivized to tell me, no, you need to keep moving.
Yeah.
So, like, I can't say, duck my head into one of the shops and have a look around and see if the golden ticket's in there or something, or see if, like, of my own volition, go and try and find a cassette tape rather than just accidentally stumble on one, because that's going to give the radio person nothing to do. So there's that. Things that I liked. The spaceship set design was pretty cool. Even if it felt like they'd put the cart before the horse a little bit, in terms of, like, they'd built this fantastically designed, practical spaceship set with all these knobs and dials that were there for the person doing the map view to be able to use, without really having functional or thought-through gameplay, which is a problem. Also, we had a crash landing, and they decided for some reason to play some really banging techno during the crash landing.
Yeah.
It was very danceable. It was not fitting with the tone of we are crashing and this is scary and tense.
Here's some banging techno.
Yeah, like,
Bom, 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 bom.
it starts doing, like, alarms and, like, oh no, this is going bad, and then just, like, I'm like, oh, okay. The problems with this really are quite largely spread, and I hope that they've solved some of these problems. I gave them a lot of feedback, and I'll get back to you about how they responded to that feedback.
Right.
Problems I had. The setup, poorly tutorialized, particularly if you're going down to the planet first. You don't get to see the tutorial for the overhead view player, which feels like it'd be really useful to see if you're the players actually going out there. The setup is it's a video that is talking you through how to get the vests on and stuff and get set up.
Yeah.
But it has, like, 10-second timers to do steps of getting ready,
Uh-huh.
and there is no, like, if you need more than 10 seconds to do the thing, fuck you, we're moving on.
Sounds very accessible.
Yeah, not so much. The worst problem with the radio, which is apparently a design choice and not a technical limitation, I got the headset on, and it's like, oh, just say something to see if the person's on the other end of the line currently. So I was like, oh, hello, and I hear a second or, a little over a second later, hello. I'm like, oh, cool, someone has connected. Nope, that was me playing back into my own ears a second and a half later. It's part of the distortion caused by the radiance. We weren't on the planet yet. There was no radiation yet to cause feedback.
Yeah.
Hearing your own voice played back to you slightly delayed is a thing that they do deliberately to jam people's thoughts and stop them being able to speak properly. And this was constantly happening during the game. Not good.
Not accessible.
No. They have, if there's an emergency, you got a red whistle, blow the red whistle.
Where is the red whistle?
Oh, well, we're not even going to get to the red whistle, where it is yet. When they're explaining the red whistle to you, there's a red whistle, blow it in an emergency.
Don't use it.
But don't use it. They don't say not to use it. What they say is, because you're playing with, like, a bunch of other groups. So I'm going to say there's probably, like, 40 people exploring this area at the same time. If you blow that whistle, we'll have to stop the game for everyone, and everyone will have to stop what they're doing. So don't blow it unless it's such an emergency that you think it's worth, stopping everyone else getting to play.
Well, it's just as well. It's so important not to blow it without really needing to, because it's not easy to find, is it?
No. So, like, there's no thing in place for, hello, I have an emergency, but I don't need you to stop the game. Like, because we're being tracked. It feels like you could have a system to go, I need someone to come and find me and give me some help, but the game doesn't need to stop. It's not that kind of emergency. But I realized halfway through my first batch, if I had an emergency so bad I need to blow this whistle, I don't know where this whistle is.
No.
I expected it to be like, like on a life jacket on an airplane, it's just kind of on the front, hanging
Yeah.
in front of you.
Also, weird in COVID times that we've got a fucking thing that multiple people will potentially put in their mouths.
I mean, I'm assuming they're relying on nobody really using it, because why would you use it? It would stop the game for everyone. But yes, I asked a member of staff between the two halves, where is this red whistle? Oh, behind your right shoulder where the radio pack is clipped, at the bottom of the radio pack clip section, it's tucked down there. It had real vibes of, oh, I went into the disabled toilet and I thought I'd tidy up by tying the emergency cord up to something near the ceiling to like get it up off the floor.
Yeah.
I could not reach back there to where this whistle supposedly was. And if I was in the kind of emergency where I need everyone to stop the game to like get me emergency help, I might not be in the position to undo this like vest I have equipped to myself, take it up over my head to get it off, to get to where this pack is with the whistle in. So that's a whole problem. Also, it's pitched as a 90-minute experience.
It's half an hour.
It's maybe an hour if you count the 15 to 20 minutes that is the tutorial and getting your equipment on and like crash landing to the planet is maybe 20 minutes.
I don't.
And then it's 15 minutes going out to the planet, and in theory 15 minutes being sat at the desk while someone else goes out to the planet. So much about this really made me appreciate how much that Bridge Command manages to wedge into a 90-minute experience, and how much actual narrative and meaningful, unique interactions that feel tailored to the player Bridge Command gets away with, compared to what felt like go run around an empty set dodging the torches, but only when the person on the broken radio tells you to do it. Because, like, I think there's a version of this that could work if you got rid of the person on the radio and you made the invisible energy that needed to be connected something visible that could be found in the world.
We talked about like different possibilities for this. I suggested like a strike point that you can maybe touch with like an RFID or something like that.
Yeah, like, I think there are ways you can do it that... I think if it didn't have the radio element and it had been, hey, dodge the torches, explore, try and find the hidden clues, and then when the alarm goes off, like, make your way back with however much you managed to collect.
Yeah.
I think could have been really cool. I was so out of the experience for so much of my playtime because I was going, I need to connect on the radio to someone who I can barely hear so that they can tell me how to play the game. That, like, to them, I'm just a dot on a screen. I'm the one down here. I feel like I should have more agency to make choices about how I engage in this space. No, I have to try and radio someone so someone can puppet me. Like, if they were seeing a video feed or something and it was reliable, then maybe, using me as like a living video game character might be an interesting mechanical thing. I just don't think it works. And I experienced this, granted, at like a technical practice performance.
But you did point out that there were members of the press there.
Yeah, there were press people there, presumably to do reviews.
Hopefully they weren't asked to go and help with the bins.
Oh god, yeah. Also, yes, a woman in a fluorescent jacket grabbed my arm at one point and said, "You have to come with me." And I thought emergent...
I stumbled into some plot.
I thought emergent gameplay had occurred, and like, ooh, a plot moment. So I'm following this woman, and I'm hearing in the headset, like, "Where are you going? You're almost off the map." And I'm like, yeah, but like, someone grabbed me and is like, "It's taking me somewhere. Give me a sec." She takes me to a door and asks me to open it, and I can't because it's got a combination lock, you need to put a code in to unlock it. And then I see she stood next to some bin bags, and I realise that she's asking me to open a staff door so she can go throw out the bin bags. And I explained to her I don't know the code to this door, I can't open the door. So she tries to hand me 2 bin bags and tell me I have to leave the premises and help her carry the bin bags around to the back of the building. To which I explain, no, I only get to play this game for 15 minutes. I am a paying member of the public here to play a game. that only lasts 15 minutes. I'm not using that 15 minutes to help you take the bin bags around the back of the building, outside of the building. And then she got, like, really upset at me as I tried to leave.
That's just... How did that member of staff not know what else was happening in this fucking warehouse?
Did you not understand all the people in, like, jackets with headsets on, running around and hiding from torches are, like, doing a thing right now? I hope that they got their act together in the 3 days leading up to the main launch, because for, I believe...
You wouldn't pay 70 quid for that.
I believe nearly 70 quid a ticket, and you have to go in pairs, so 140 quid for 2 of you to go. Yikes.
On bikes.
Yikes. That's Lander 23. Did not sell me on recommending the experience to other people or encouraging other people to go. I wish I'd had a better time with it. It did not sell me on Punch Drunk's experiences.
No.
Which is a shame, because I've heard positive things from other people. But I think this is their first gameplay-heavy sci-fi thing, and it just doesn't feel like it's landed.
Oopsie.
What about
I didn't
you?
land 23.
No!
Ah.
What about you? What have you played?
I played a whole bunch of Age of Imprisonment, the new Warriors, Zelda, Hyrule Warriors game.
I've also been playing a bunch of this on my Switch too.
Yeah.
How are you finding the new Zelda Warriors?
I can't remember if we talked about this last time, but last time we were recording, we'd had the experience of going, it's got 2-player mode. They were very explicit that it's got a 2-player mode, and it wouldn't let me play during cutscenes. It wouldn't let me play during story missions. It would only let me play in, like, side missions,
and even
which meant that because you were right at the start of the game, we'd get maybe like one mission, and then it'd be like, okay, well, you're not allowed to play this one or this one, and you're gonna have to sit out while this bit of
and these were
cutscene
ones
happens.
where there were multiple playable characters in the mission.
Yeah,
and you, like, surely you can, like, you can be King Rauru and I'll be Zelda. Nope. One player's got to be both of them.
Yeah, because the plot says that this is about Zelda training.
It was a series of really weird decisions around, like, the early section of that game.
It was, to the point where I basically just gave up after a while.
Yeah. We tried to sit and play a game together, and it just didn't work very well.
But I picked it up and have played a lot of it myself. I think I'm probably not far off of at least seeing credits roll. I know Hyrule Warriors games too well to assume that that's going to be the end of things.
Oh yeah, it will throw a million new things at you, I'm
like,
sure.
Oh, you've seen the credits roll. Well, here's a bajillion fucking things that you need to go and get resources for. Good luck. I've been doing, like, all of the side missions as we go along before, like completely clearing out all of the side missions before going and doing the next story mission.
That is my way of doing things too.
And I feel like I've unlocked most of at least most of the standard overworld map. I've got, like, 4 chunks of the Sky Islands and 3 parts of the underground, of the deeps.
I'll reiterate a thing you said that I think was really well put, which was, this really is the best Star Fox game they've released in a while.
Oh, yes.
It's a great Star Fox game.
We have new and exclusive character, the Knight Construct.
Definitely not Robo-Link.
No, definitely not Robo-Link.
No.
It's one of the constructs. We've seen constructs before in Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
But
this one just looks like Link.
This one happens to look like a knight and happens to wear a little cowl.
Happens to look like Robo-Link.
Happens to, tend to favour a sword, but can also use a spear or a two-handed sword.
Robo-Link.
And is escorted around Hyrule by a Korok who's just looking for somewhere to put down roots.
Yeah. I wonder if he'll be a big tree someday. Wink, wink.
That is the impression we get. Like all Koroks, big tree someday. But there are a series of missions where the Knight Constructs, definitely not Robo-Link, can basically transform into, like, an eagle form.
Yeah.
And have the Calamo. Definitely not Calamo. Definitely nothing to do with the Calamity.
He'll be a tree eventually. Calamo tree.
Calamity Ganon. Oh no.
But yes, he can turn into eagle jet form.
She can into eagle jet form and do barrel rolls and fire lasers, and so forth. And yeah, I can see where people were making the Star Fox comparisons. And yes,
Those sections are very fun.
they are. I want more of them, especially since I keep finding side quests that are like, do a bunch of barrel rolls. So, okay,
Woo!
I need you to give me more of these missions then, and I'll go and do that, I guess. Yeah, having a good time with it. I haven't played any for a few days because I've been busy with other stuff, but yeah, I'm very much enjoying it. And I do feel like it does become more feasible to play through the actual game into player once you get out of like the initial couple of hours.
Agreed.
Because it does start to open up a bit. It's basically right up until the calamity first happens. Once Ganon gets his power up, that things really start to open up a lot, and there's lots of side quest stuff.
You know what one of my favourite things about this game is? How many of the playable characters are like random Hylian farmer.
Yeah, there's a lot of random knights.
There's a lot of them that are just like, Jeff who found a spear in the shed. Yeah.
I mean, I get the impression that they're like proper knights of Hyrule.
Oh,
because,
I don't disagree.
Most of them are people that you fight as Zelda initially, while Rauru and Sonia are putting you through your paces. I feel like the biggest loss is Sonia.
Yes.
Because obviously, you know from the plot that she's not going to be around for very long, because the majority of this doesn't happen until Ganon steals the
stone, the sacred stone. Yeah.
But so it felt like we got so little time to explore her character in in Tears of the Kingdom that it was such a shame to just be like, okay, well, we're an hour in, you know what's got to happen, right?
Well, and to be clear, it's not that I don't think those characters aren't trained up to be people who fight. I just like how many of them have what I would consider, like, design-wise, I could have just walked past you and never thought about you in Breath of the Wild in Kakariko Village. Yes. Like, the number of them that are just, you know, it's that guy.
It's that guy.
It's that guy. It's not like, oh, we met the new leader of the Zoras, and, like, here's her, like, design. Oh, she's a Zora with, like, a unicorn horn. That's, like, pretty, like a narwhal horn. That's pretty unique. And there's a whole bunch of characters who are not, I'm a Zora with a narwhal horn and that's unique. They're just... It's just Barry. It's just Barry. He'll stab some stuff for you.
Yeah,
And I kind of find that really endearing.
Yeah, so you've got, like, 3 different Rito you can play. You've got the 3 random humans, a couple of Gorons, and then obviously you've got, like, there's 19 characters in total. The most important ones are Zelda, Rauru, the other 5 sages, Minoru obviously amongst them, and then you've got Calamo and the Night Construct, and then just a bunch of randos.
Yeah,
just a bunch of randos. This is an old guy who thought he'd laid down his spear, but oh no. He's coming back out of retirement, and he's going to do some fighting.
I thought I was out, but they pulled me back in.
They pulled you back in. There's a couple of Gerudo in there that have got some quite interesting mechanics with how they fight. Like a whole rhythm thing with one of them that's quite interesting. There's not a lot going on with the weapons, because the 7 sages only have 1 weapon each. Like, they're very specific weapons. And then all of the other characters can use any one-handed weapon, any two-handed weapon, or any spear.
Yeah.
There is 1 character in the whole game that gets a bow.
Ooh.
Which is weird because, like, the whole leveling up mechanic with the blacksmith, it's like, well, hopefully you'll get enough of this, steel stuff that you need to upgrade your weapons specifically for the bow guy, because otherwise he's just not going to be able to level that weapon up, I guess. But, I've been enjoying it in much the same way I enjoy other Hyrule Warriors games. I just want Canon Linkle, goddammit!
Yeah, agreed.
I like that this is supposed to be canon.
Yeah, it's not yet introduced like the little robot egg that's going to travel through time
Yep.
and make it non-canon.
Yep. Or any extremely Warriors games characters like we saw
Like
in the
like
first
the
one.
very first Warriors game with
Sia
the Koei Tecmo princess who showed up and was very Koei Tecmo.
Sia and Dark Sia.
Yes. I am enjoying this exactly as much as I expected to enjoy a Hyrule Warriors
Yeah.
game. It's nice that it runs at 60 FPS now.
It's nice that we almost didn't get a link in it.
Yeah, we kind of almost didn't get a link.
Yeah, kind of almost.
What about you? You played anything else this week?
Nothing is, especially I want to go super deep on. We played a whole bunch of Scythe. We've slightly
yeah.
changed. I slightly changed how I've been playing. Like slightly turned up my strategy, and you also have started doing exactly the same thing to try and keep pace. I guess
I mean,
because I played a very fucking pacey couple of games.
I didn't play nearly as pacey. I definitely put my full set of units out earlier than I would normally
Yeah.
do. It seemed necessary with you playing the sort of aggressive game you were playing.
I didn't fight you. There
No,
was no
but
fighting.
No, but you were pushing the resource generation rate faster, meaning that I really had to be doing so. I couldn't be affording to take my time making resources to be cautious about my other like meters. I was like, oh, if this is the pace the game is going to be, I have to be playing on the same pace, I think.
Yeah.
I can't play the long game if you are jumping to having the resources you need this way.
Yeah. Yeah, it was interesting. We've talked about Scythe a whole bunch. It's like area control and resource gathering and almost worker placement, but like very specific action selection, I guess, is probably more appropriate. And we played a bunch of Tapestry, another Stone Meyer Games game with a bunch of tiny little buildings, and you play civilizations trying to build a tapestry of where you've been and where you're going with different technologies that you're evolving, and there's a lot of resource management, some sort of area control, and racing up various tracks in exploration and science and military and technology and arts.
Yeah.
Big fan of that game. I'm glad we've had some more time to play it. I really want to try it at larger player counts.
Agreed.
But it's not a game that you can play as like the second game of a day.
No.
We have been continuing our Clank Legacy 2 Acquisitions Incorporated Dark Magic, I think it's called.
Yeah.
That's to give it its full fucking title with
Clank
multiple...
Legacy 2.
Clank Legacy 2, indeed. Still very much enjoying that. I think we're about halfway through now.
Yeah.
And having a good time. As I think we've mentioned before, that it's nothing like Clank
No.
beyond its name, because so much of it is focused on like the plot and expanding stuff and finding new things and your personal missions. But at the end of it, you will at least still have a very playable version of Clank.
Yeah. It is very much a DM-less Dungeons and Dragons story
Yeah.
that the board game is the mechanics through which you will explore the story you are getting as a group of people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with that.
Having a lot of fun with that. Have you played anything else?
No, that's the big ones for me this week.
Well then.
Time for this.
So...
Man, I'm gonna pee, dear. Oh, sorry, I'll be right back.
Sometimes...
So get past my heavy blanket.
Keeve.
Balance.
What's that?
I'm looking for some.
Oh, good luck.
tantrum over something that is largely inconsequential. It's very weird.
Hello, sir. How are we doing? I'm wonderful. I would just like to know why they would ever bring trees to the Christmas tree. Yeah, no, is this a Muslim text? What's going on here? Evergreen tree. What is that?
Right, I would preface this by saying you can quite clearly see signs that say Christmas trees, but clearly this bloke didn't bother to read them. As for the name, why aren't they called Christmas trees? When you find a Christmas tree, for example, the name of a species is not going to be Christmas tree. That's just the name we give it because that's the purpose we use it for. The most common names of species are going to be Northern fir, Norway spruce, Fraser fir, that sort of thing. How do I know this? Because I used to sell Christmas trees. I did it for about 4 years, and when we sold them by name of species and type because it makes it easier to keep track of sales, and also to help when we need to reorder more when we run low. It's a shame that we cannot refer to things in a technical way because this caliber of human being thinks that it's a Muslim point to cancel Christmas.
So I just like to where's the manager at? That's an absolute disgrace, mate.
What an absolute melt. I really hope you're told to do one by the manager because this stuff is getting all too common now. People going into stores and harassing workers on minimum wage over stuff that is completely out of their control in the name of the culture wars. I'm sick of it because what do these people gain other than being laughed at and ruining other people's days? It's so stupid.
Young people, I mean, Tesco's in Braintree, they're selling the wonderful evergreen trees. Where?
These towers in Manchester contain very expensive luxury flats. They were built by Darren Whittaker and Rennick and received hundreds of millions of pounds worth of loans of taxpayer money. Off the back of those taxpayer loans, he became one of the UK's richest people. Then he created one of his many companies, took out at least £340 million and moved to Monaco. But what does Monaco have that Manchester doesn't? There's the Manchester Riviera, the beautiful weather, ample parking. Oh yeah, if he stayed in Manchester, he'd owe about £120 million in tax. So he made all his money using taxpayers' money, and instead of paying it forward, he spent the country in funds for a tax haven. Danny and I have actually been investigating the story for the last 6 months, including posing as potential buyers for a flat in one of the towers.
What was the cost of this one?
Twice.
Yeah.
Say 1819.
Confronting and burning on the radio about the lack of affordable housing.
You sit on top of the GMCA fund. It seems that like 70 to 80% of that fund has been lent to Rennico, but Rennico developers haven't actually contributed any social housing.
They seem to be the short answer, but no one ever said they were grants. We said they were Darren's. Where was he straight David? Why didn't he ever contribute towards affordable housing? And why were the interest rates so low? When Darren was being cuddled by Manchester, other companies were going bust. In a nutshell, Whittaker lent about £800 million of public money at low interest rates, around 4% instead of 8, and didn't have to build any affordable housing at all. He just built boring, expensive flats. No offence. There's a thing called a Section 106 agreement, and if he was any other developer, he probably would have been expected to contribute about £100 million for affordable housing. He's contributed a grand total of £0. Yet he makes 3 times the profit of everyone else. Every time it's the same. He goes to the council and says, look how profitable this is, please can I have a loan? And they say, wow, yes, of course you can, Darren. And they say, oh, I don't think it's going to be viable for us to contribute to affordable housing, I'm sorry, we don't make enough money. And they say, oh, don't worry about that, it's okay, you don't have to. And then he says, hey, look how profitable this was, can I have another loan, please? And they say, well, yeah, of course. And then he says, I don't know if it's going to be viable for us to contribute. And they say, that's okay. So after making hundreds of millions using taxpayer money, he's decided to move to Monaco so we won't have to pay any tax on it. And it's all been made possible thanks to the Manchester City Council Planning Department. These towers in Manchester contain very expensive luxury flats. They were built by Darren Whittaker and Rennick and received hundreds of millions of pounds worth of
OpenAI is
Sorry for the
losing
wait.
market power,
Oh, no.
and Sam Altman is putting the company on red alert. In a memo to employees, Sam Altman said that an urgent effort must be made to improve the quality of ChatGPT, and all other products, including advertising, must be delayed. OpenAI is under attack from all sides right now, but especially...
Imagine having karaoke in your car. Last week, your manager
Sorry. Oh, sorry. He's throwing the VR away.
Very much threw it directly in the bin.
Well, that's alright. That's soft down there. Oh, just unplug it. It's probably had enough.
Sorry, Smudge.
Also,
Why is it on?
don't know. It wasn't on.
No.
Maybe it turned on in the bin.
I'm still good, I'm still good.
No, don't replace me. I know you keep talking about the 3, but I'm still good. You don't have to get rid of me. So, what have you put in your eyes or ears?
I watched a film.
You watched a film?
I've watched at least a couple of films, but I watched one I'm going to jump in with.
Wow.
I watched Zootopia 2. Sorry, I live in the UK. Zootropolis 2.
Propaganda, boo.
I think there are more interesting things to talk about with this film than the propaganda of... like, look, yeah, it is a film with a main character who is a police officer, and the first film, very fucking messy metaphor for racism. I think that the first Zootopia/Zootropolis film, by having the marginalized, oppressed class that is your racism metaphor be, in a very literal sense, creatures that need to eat meat, which in this case means their fellow beings to survive, puts some weird implications on a minority liberation narrative, because it's like, we should do oppression. You shouldn't be scared of the people who... they are obligate
carnivores.
They are obligate carnivores, but that doesn't mean they're gonna eat you. It's a weird, messy metaphor.
Yeah.
Zootopia 2, I'm gonna try and explain the plot in wide brushstrokes of this sequel.
Okay.
a kind of lefty activist woman, forget that she's a cop for a minute, realizes that her heterosexual boyfriend is less willing to self-sacrifice for political advancement of others than she is, and would rather stay uninvolved in politics if not meddling would make their lives easier than fighting racism part 2.
Uh-huh.
There's racism part 2.
Oh, the sequel to racism.
We solved racism. No one is discriminated against. No one is feared. All animals can live in Zootopia/Zootropolis now, except snakes. Snakes are fucking evil.
Oh.
Snakes are evil. They're dangerous. They're the new carnivores. They're the ones we don't like now.
Uh-huh.
Like, we solved racism, except for those fucking snakes. We don't fucking like them
Fucking
snakes.
reptiles.
They're fucking reptiles. It feels very weird to have them solve racism. To have the film start with, aren't we so glad we fixed racism, except for them fucking gross green ones.
We got rid of racism and we replaced it with anti-snickertism.
It is large... In large portions, it is a film that is like... the Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde, the Fox and the Rabbit, are not technically dating in this film. I don't know that a film has ever straight-baited an audience.
Right.
Like, the opposite of queer-baiting. I was certain that these characters were in a relationship, and then it was made clear they've never been in a relationship, and I'm like, oh...
They're just friends.
They're just friends, I guess. But it fully felt like a film about, like, when a woman who, like, genuinely cares about societal change starts dating the kind of man that's, like, not actively against things being better for other people, but, like, I'm not gonna do anything actively that makes life harder for me to make things better for other people.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, the friction that it creates in a relationship when one of you is like, I'm willing to get arrested for my beliefs if I have to get change to happen, is dating, I'm not gonna do that because I would rather we get to have a comfortable life. Like, can we just, like, not fight to make things better for other people, because that's gonna make things worse for us, maybe?
We'll say it's terrible what's happening to the snakes, but I don't want to do anything about it because that would inconvenience me.
Yeah. Also, there's a lesbian beaver that teaches them how to not be quite so heterosexual in their not a romantic relationship. And the villain is colonialism is evil.
I mean, wait, what? I was going to say they're not wrong. What?
Yeah.
Are you saying that colonialism?
No. To be fair,
okay.
Evil colonialists are the villain.
Okay, right.
We have to fight evil.
Sorry, the way you said it, I thought
Sorry.
you were suggesting that saying colonialism was bad.
No. Look, I'm not gonna.
I was like, what in the Marvel movie is this?
Look, I'm not gonna say that you could look at this film as like a pro-Palestine film,
right?
But I think you could read it that way if you wanted, when you start looking at the fact that this film is ultimately about a group of people who would like to expand their land and are well aware that in order to expand their land, they are going to have to forcibly evict a discriminated against population. You're going to have to push them out of their homes by force if needed to expand into their territory, and that they feel they have like a moral right to be able to do so.
What a novel and imaginative concept,
right?
That I can't imagine has come from anywhere.
And like
specific.
you know, it in some I will say that this film does at times a good job of going, let's humanize the people living in this community that they don't have any real choice but to live where they do. They can't exactly leave, and they know that like the villains are trying to basically come up with an excuse to expand into their land and to make it seem like that was something they were sort of already allowed to do, and to pretend that like no one's getting hurt in that exchange, and that maybe we should push back against that, and people should be allowed to live together and not forced into ever smaller, hard to survive in areas by people who just kind of are very territorial and want more of that land to be theirs. You could look at this film that way.
Yeah.
I think for a series that has some confusing messaging around the fight against racism, this is maybe a place where the messaging kind of was consistent and worked okay. Sometimes even the most well-intentioned people will sometimes go, yeah, but I could just have more though, couldn't I?
You could.
And, like, I could just do what's good for, like, my group of people and forget about who's going to get hurt in the equation.
You could do that.
You could. Don't do that. Turn left at genocide.
Turn left at genocide, as we always say.
Yeah. It was an enjoyable film in terms of having, like, a good density of really stupid puns. But, like, the kind that make me groan, but really I feel good on the inside.
Yeah.
Well-paced energy to it. Some good set pieces.
Nice.
It was dripping in heterosexuality.
Ugh.
For a film where its
Ugh.
two main
I don't
characters...
think heterosexuality should drip.
Yeah. For a film where the two main characters are not in a romantic relationship, I've never watched a film that has felt so... I am watching all the reasons I don't like heterosexual relationships play out on screen.
Leave the dripping to the gays.
So that's Zootopia Tropolis 2.
Topiropoulos.
Yeah, yes. What have,
Toblerone too. What's a Toblerone?
what have you put in your eyes or ears?
We went and watched a film together. We went and see Wicked 2. Even
We did.
Wickeder.
Yeah, Wicked 4 good.
Wicked 4 good.
Which is
Wicked
not the fourth
2,
film.
4 good.
Wicked 2 4 good. Yeah, what did you make of Wicked Part 2?
I thought that the sets were very good.
Yep.
I thought there were some fantastic shots, some really interesting impossible shots in a couple of sections that I really enjoyed. The one musical number I really liked from the second half was well done.
Yeah, what's the one you like from the second half?
Oh, I like No Good Deed.
Same. No Good Deed is like, it's the banger of the second act.
Yeah, I feel like the second half of that show is the weaker of the two.
Oh yeah,
There's some great moments in it, but I feel like it opens strong and then peters out.
It has long been agreed the worst of the two halves of Wicked.
Which makes it all the weirder that they try to make it a whole separate film.
Act 2 of Wicked is strange. Because, like, here's the thing. I'm not surprised they made Act 2 of Wicked into a standalone film. Because it is the portion of Wicked as a musical that really feels most like it could benefit from some expanding and from some additional scenes and context. And they made this considerably longer than Act 2 of the stage musical Wicked.
Yes.
And didn't change or build on any of the things that needed expanding on. They added some very unnecessary musical numbers. It seems like what they did is they saw the first half of the Wicked movie came out, and everyone very much loved the relationship between Glinda and Elphaba. And they went, cool. What we need to do is we need to wedge more of them being together and around each other and friends into Act 2. Which is not what you need, because what Act 2 is specifically about is the two of them being apart and not communicating, and the ways that, like, their choices completely spiral when not supported by each other.
Yeah.
Like, the damage that comes from them not being influences on each other, and they kind of undercut that in ways that I don't think serve the film.
No.
Things I think they did well, but that I've seen be divisive is I've seen a lot of people write this second Wicked film off as, oh, Glinda's just upset that Fiyero and Elphaba dated. And that's why she does everything she does. It's like, no. The point of Act 2 of Wicked is Glinda recognizes, oh, it really is that easy. I could have just run away with Elphaba. Fiyero proved you can just go, Elphaba means that much to me, yes, I'll run away with her.
Yeah.
And, like, that's what's fueling her bad decisions. And I think they captured that well. But yeah, they didn't expand any of the things that really needed expanding in Act 2.
No, I think they did a good job with the shoehorning. all of the Wizard of Oz movie stuff in. They picked a good Dorothy. I liked that she always had like the fucking Vaseline lens over her basically anytime we saw her.
I like how terrifying the Tin Man was handled.
Yes.
I like I think the actor did a fantastic performance.
Yeah,
The prosthetics were great. I like that they really leaned into him being, like, terrifying, like... The best way I can put this is man angry.
I know.
Like,
Sadly,
slightly...
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, slightly incel-y kind of entitled angry. And I think that is...
But also reasonably angry.
Yeah,
because
Yeah.
of all the stuff that happens to him.
Yeah, I don't think he's unjustified in it, but I think that it is a very specific kind of anger that, like... A kind of anger that is very scary to women.
Yes.
And considering that, like, most of the people we see him be angry at are women, I think that choice of, like, that flavour of anger really sold him being heartless.
Yes.
I like that. I like the Scarecrow prosthetic or outfitting.
It made me like run in my head the fact that I keep saying that recent Nintendo games, especially like the Mario Party games, the texturing is always really good, and I think yes, the texturing is quite a thing.
It set off some tryptophobia in people, and I understand
I can imagine,
that.
Yep. There, that sure is some burlap there.
Yes. I enjoyed Wicked. I enjoyed it as an adaptation of the admittedly weaker second act of Wicked.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's all I have to say about that. I would be interested to one day sit down and watch the whole thing in one go.
Yeah.
I imagine that's probably going to be quite an afternoon. Lots of popcorn needed, many snacks. What else? You've watched other things.
We watched a thing together.
We did.
Well, I have a lot of praise to say for this, but I'm going to caveat it with like a mention of one actor. We watched Wake Up Dead Man, which is
Glass Onion.
Yeah.
We watched Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery.
Yes, so this
by
is
Ryan Johnson.
This is the third in the Daniel Craig is Detective LeBlanc. Benoit Blanc. Fantastically crafted murder mystery films.
Yeah.
This one has Jeremy Renner in it, who's apparently he's a bit of a shit apparently. So we've acknowledged he's in it. That's a shame.
I'd forgotten he was in it, to be fair. And then I was like, God, is that Jeremy Renner? I've not seen him for a while.
Yeah, I didn't know that he was bad, and that was not on my radar. But
weirdly, I think that sort of floated into my consciousness relatively recently. I don't know if the news broke about that relatively recently, but then I was like, oh yeah, I'm sure Jeremy Renner has recently been accused of doing something terrible. And then you were like, I hadn't heard anything about it. I was like, maybe I'm thinking of the wrong person. I looked it up and it's like, no, there was some news recently.
Well, we'll put that aside for a moment to talk about this. Another fantastically crafted mystery film, this. Ryan Johnson has a real knack for murder mysteries that feel superbly honest and fair to the viewer.
Yes, there's no BBC Sherlock going on here.
You didn't notice, viewer, the thing we didn't show you, that there's scratches around the charging cord, which means that they're an alcoholic.
Yeah, that's how that works.
Yeah, and I'll say for this one, this is the first of the three where I spotted one of the little details, like, in real time when it happened.
Yeah.
And then when it came around to, like, the reveal at the end, I was like,
I knew that.
I spotted that one.
Yeah.
But, like, I really appreciate how fair it plays it with things. And I really like how, even when you can see some elements coming, like, miles away, that doesn't... You might see the broad stroke event that's going to happen, but there's gonna be like 3 or 4 layers behind that you didn't see coming. Like, yeah, when you tell me about like the mausoleum that's impossible to open from outside but very easy to open from inside,
Well, that's getting opened.
and we're talking about like, oh, this is taking place at Easter. I'm gonna look at that with a film called Wake Up Dead Man and go, oh, are we doing something to do with someone rising from the dead after they die? You know, I can see that coming, and then maybe when something like that happens, go, oh, there was so much more happening to, like, oh, we're doing an Easter murder. I am very impressed at how many layers there are unfolding at all times.
Yeah, I've enjoyed all of these films from the point of view of feeling like the opportunity was there for me to have worked things out on my own. Like, it doesn't feel like it tried to be like, oh, our mystery is a bit shaky, so we're going to try and conceal shit from you so that you don't work it out in the first 2 minutes. Or even if you, like, even if there is stuff you work out, there's still so much more to it that allows you to just keep enjoying it.
The first 2 were really good like this. I'm very excited to watch this again at some point and look for the things now I know. Because I know that at least one of them you can definitely see the first time around. I also really appreciate that for a film that was as actively and frequently critical of, like, right-wing evangelical fear-mongering style Christianity, that it managed to also feel as genuinely, sincerely open to Christianity being a good, positive force in people's lives. Like, it is a film that is deeply critical of what Christianity has become in many places, while being a film that I don't think any Christian could watch and go, that film is anti-Christian.
Yeah.
I mean, some right-wing evangelicals probably would, but I think you'd get a lot of Christians that would watch it and go, honestly, this film is deeply empathetic to our view of our religion. The guy who plays the priest character, fantastic job. Really, really engaging actor, that.
Yeah. It felt like a believable human being.
Yeah.
Which I think it feels weird that I would be surprised by that in a movie.
Yeah.
But like the number of times where a character like that can be very one-dimensional. And this was like a person who had a rough past, who was trying to better themselves, who could be preachy about religion, but without being pressurizing it or basically being very Christian about it, being very New Testament rather than going, I call myself a Christian, but have you heard about Leviticus?
I said this on the walk home, but I was like, if there had been more people like this in positions of religious authority when I had still been going to church,
you might have got down to that theology study.
I think my life would have gone in a very different direction. I think I probably would have stayed in the church far longer than I did if this was the kind of Christians I'd been looking up to.
Yeah.
I also really appreciate that for a film that is largely like a double act between a strictly like logic and facts atheist and a very religiously driven pastor, that the two of them don't really shake from those positions, yet come to understand each other much better.
Yeah.
And that you don't fundamentally have to get any closer between... And those viewpoints don't have to creep toward each other for you to understand them better. And I really like how they handled that.
Yeah. I mean, like, minor spoiler for a bit later on in the film, there is a moment where they need to get information from a person.
Yes.
So they ring up and they're like, "Hey, I'm just trying to get some information. I'm gonna push the new pastor here, and I need this information as soon as possible." And then that going into the person on the end of the phone that they're just desperately trying to get information from as fast as possible and have no other real concern for, is having a personal crisis because of a sick relative,
And has gone, you're a pastor, can you help?
And this turns into seemingly multiple hours on the phone to this person, praying for this person. And Benoit being like, I need to get on with something, so I might be leaving anyway in a minute, but okay, you've wrapped up your call.
Yeah.
Okay, it's cool. And not being judgy about that in a, well, we had to solve the case, we had to do things. Like, whatever else, I have to be here for these people who need me in this way.
And I like that is not in any way relevant to the mystery. That's it's not a thing that advances the plot. It is simply a really good character moment of, as much as this character might try and go, I'm gonna be like Benoit, I'm gonna just bam 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 crack through this mystery, he fundamentally is the kind of person who cannot help himself but stop and to be there for people in a moment of need. Mm-hmm. And whether it is progressing the thing that's going to save him or not.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, it's a great little character moment.
Yeah, because ultimately, like, he is accused of the murder right from step one, which means that whatever else happens, he is ultimately trying to save his own skin.
But there are things more important to him than
Indeed.
that. And so that is... Yeah, it is a good film. Shame Jeremy Renner's a bit of a cunt, but...
Yeah.
It's a good film.
Speaking of people trying to whitewash their image, I went and saw Now You See Me, Now You Don't.
Oh, remind me who was in this.
A large chunk of it's shot in Abu Dhabi, and we know that they're trying to whitewash the whole image. And then, like, there's all the slavery and people dying and things while working on super projects and all of that. To be fair, I didn't know any of that when I went to saw the film. I was like, oh, it's another one of these films that are kind of schlocky and have some fun effects and some magic stuff. It's got Justice Smith in it, being very Justice Smith for a majority of the movie. There was a very sweet human being who seems to get typecast a lot, and maybe that's why they picked him for this role. I appreciate that he's commented on, like, you need to stop apologising all the time. It's like, not me. I need to apologise for apologising again. Sorry about that. Oh, shit. Yeah, it's silly fun with just hammy acting and a terrible villain who you can't help but hate. She's a South African diamond mining heiress who may have made a fortune from Nazi gold. So, you know, cackling. Maybe I murdered my own mother, who can say? Yeah, it's the story is like just a fun romp. It's just a shame it's, you know, just another excuse for people trying to whitewash their image away from oil money into entertainment now. But yeah, like, I don't enjoy the Now You See Me movies beyond, that was kind of stupid. That was kind of a few minutes. And, yeah, you know, I wanted to get out of the house, so I got out of the house and watched a film, which I didn't have to pay for because I have an unlimited cinema ticket, so I don't feel bad about it. Woo!
Yeah.
That's the films I watched. Have you watched anything else?
I watched a thing. I watched a thing on YouTube today that I think is worth talking about that was interesting.
Yes?
There is a creator who I sometimes come across on TikTok called Evan Edinger. Largely, he is an American who moved to the UK and talks about, like, differences between the countries, largely talking about how things are better in the UK. But he put out a quite brave YouTube video recently called How This Gas Station Drug Nearly Ruined My Life.
That guy.
Yeah, that guy. So, in short, at a few years ago, Evan Edinger is living his life. He's got undiagnosed ADHD. He's as many people with ADHD is trying to, without knowing that's what he has, he's trying to self-medicate.
Yeah.
And he stumbles while living in the UK, in the US, stumbles onto this stuff called, one sec. I had the name in my head.
I
and
don't know what it's
gone.
called, but I feel like I'm gonna know exactly the thing you mean in a second.
Yeah, I know the name of this thing, and it's jumped out my head.
It's like plugged as like a herbal remedy, like it's okay. It's
Oh,
at the gas-
kratom.
Kratom.
Yes. So he sees this stuff in like a petrol station or somewhere. It's advertised as like all natural, gives you an energy boost. It'll make you feel good and help you focus. And comes in like a little 5-hour energy style little bottle.
Mm-hmm.
And takes it. It's like, oh, I'm feeling great. I'm very focused. I'm doing very well. He looks the stuff up, and it's this plant from like Thailand and around that sort of area of the world, and it's used over there in very low doses as like an equivalent to like coffee, as a stimulant. The problem with it is that at higher dosages, or if you take it too frequently, it starts acting more like an opiate, and acting on your opiate receptors.
And more addictive. I understand.
Way more addictive, yes. It's basically what starts as a very strong coffee-like rush quickly becomes you are essentially addicted to opiates. And he talks about the story of how very quickly he became physically dependent on the stuff and the battle with addiction he had with it and his journey to breaking through that. As of the time of publishing the video, he has been clean for a year. He's not had any for a year. But I think the thing in the video that really like sold it, and that I think does a great job of setting the stakes for how vulnerable a story this is he's telling, is he opens it by showing off a box he'd bought to keep his kratom in at a point where he was like doing what a lot of people with addictions do of, oh, there are rules that if I follow these I won't be addicted. I'll only take it on alternating days or this, that, and the
I don't drink
other.
before midday.
Yeah. And the thing he'd had to do at a certain point was keep his kratom powder in like a time-locked box that like would only open after 24 hours, so that he wouldn't have it more than once a day. And he opens the video by showing this box and going, you see all that tape in there? That's from where I took a knife to it to break it open before the 24 hours was up. Because the first time around, I'd just been shaking the box upside down because I realised I hadn't closed the bag inside enough and the powder could kind of come out. So then I taped the bag shut closer better the next time. And then I took a knife to it and broke it open, and I had a problem. Really good, honest, brutal look at someone's battle with addiction with a thing that in the UK is very hard to get because the psychoactive substance is banned.
Yes.
But that in the US, not only is it like incredibly readily available, you don't have to be 18 to get it. They've now started selling it in like, instead of like the 5-hour energy little bottles of it, you can now buy it in like cans of Monster size containers of it, that are being marketed to Gen Z like teenagers as like, oh,
I want another opioid epidemic.
only like adults are losers. They have alcohol. That's like stupid stuff for like old people.
Here, have some
Here,
heroin.
have like the thing that all the youth are having that makes them feel good. That's a beverage. Have essentially opioid addiction. It's fucking brutal watch, but it was, I think, well worth watching for like, if you've never had to deal with addiction or know anyone who's dealing with addiction, it is a very humanized look at the insidious ways that chemical dependency can weasel its way into your thinking and cloud you from realizing it's happening. So it's a very good video. It's one I very much recommend to people.
Yeah.
Is that everything you've watched or listened to?
I believe so.
Well then, time for this.
So, Laura,
Yes?
where can we find you on the internet?
You can find me at Laura Kibbers, most of the places on the internet. What am I up to at the moment? There's an episode of Control Alt Access that went up recently talking about all of the GA Conf Award nominees this year. That's a good one. Go check that out. Check out Dice Funk. I'm pretending to be a middle sibling dragon making a lot of poor life choices at the moment.
I don't know about that.
I'm making chaotic life choices. I'm making ill thought through life choices at the moment.
You're just making choices about glass and blue women.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how sustainable those choices are.
You think you'll run out of glass?
Yes, that's what I'll run out of.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, go check out Laura Kibbers. You'll find all the stuff I'm up to.
Yeah.
What about you? Where are you out on the internet?
Patreon.com/StoneMonkeyRadio. As little as $1 a month, you can help me do all the things, keep this going. And you can find me on Humans Holler at News, a podcast for me's and for you's. We holler at news a couple of times a month usually. And stay tuned soon. The traditional end of the year episode is coming up. I believe the special guest has already been approached about doing that. So if you know, you know. If you know about butts, then I guess you get to hear people talking about butts. I understand the tradition is there is a list that is released of all the stupid things that were found up people's butts during the year. So yeah, check that out when that comes out. The list hasn't been released yet, so they've not been able to film, but don't worry, it's on the cards and the right people have been contacted. It's all good. Yeah, that's me. So Laura,
Yeah.
will you sing us out, please, darling?
Until next time, be a stranger.
Wifey, 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 wifey. Hey, come over, join our penguin huddle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's all right. Oh God, you're freezing. Go, get in the middle, don't
Okay,
we?
I'm in the middle.
We
okay.
all take turns getting in the middle, so we're all sort of just huddling around like penguins.
Oh, sharing the warmth.
yeah,
Oh, I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you all
mean,
for the help.
it's difficult to pay the heating bills these days, so we've
Yeah.
decided to get together and keep each other warm.
Oh, that's very, very appreciated.
Yeah, it's amazing what can happen when people come together in this way.
Yeah.
Act for the community.
Yeah.
Have you heard about unions?
Ooh.
Hey, Laura.
Yes.
We've got a new sponsor.
Who's our new sponsor?
Well, do you have interest in new game coming out?
Oh, I definitely have interest in new game coming out.
But new game not out yet.
Oh, it's still several days away. I want to play it now, though.
What if you could do that?
How would I even do that? How would
This-
such a thing be possible?
This week's sponsor is the answer.
Oh, who's that?
This week's sponsor is Early Games What Ain't Stolen.lol.net.
Well, that name convinces me. Tell me more.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of questions can be answered by listening to the name of the company,
Yeah,
which
I mean-
is Early Games What Ain't Stolen.
I mean, it says it right in the title.
Right.
I don't know why I would have any
Right,
questions.
in the title. It's your premier seller of early release video games.
Oh, well, how does this work? Do they have like a website or like a physical store I go to?
Sort of a physical store. You know the toilets at Canterbury Station?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you meet there at about 4 PM and just slide a brown envelope full of money under the cubicle door,
Okay.
and then knock 3 times,
Okay.
then someone will hand you a brown paper bag with your video game in it.
Okay. Can I ask why this is how we're doing the transaction?
No, that's not allowed.
Do I need to ask follow-up questions about the nature of this transaction?
Do you want the game or not?
I do want the game.
Okay.
I did hear that early games what ain't stolen.
That's early games what ain't stolen.lol.net. Enter no codes whatsoever, because
That's how they get you.
That's how they get you. That's how they find out, and that feels like a question. What are you, a cop? You have to tell us if you're a cop. This interview's over. Inside the boardroom of Supremacy Software.
Hi.
Hi.
So... I'm getting bullied online.
What?
Yeah.
Who would do this? Do I have to get the BB guns? We can shoot them.
Look, I
love shooting people.
Look, I didn't do nothing. All I did was fire all of the voice actors and use AI to replace their voices in Call of Duty. Because I don't want to pay anyone to make the voices.
Why would you pay anyone when AI is right there?
Right.
We pay for the AI.
Right. And
we paid a lot of money for the AI, let's be honest.
Right. So, like, I was so proud of it. I like, you know, in the press release, I was like, put my name on that. Put my name on the thing that says I fired them all so that we could use AI to do the voices.
And you're right to do so.
Right. I was so proud.
Yeah.
And then people on the internet have been going, oh, that's unethical. Oh, you're a terrible person. Oh, I wish you'd die in a fire. And I don't know why they're trying to be so mean to me when all I did was maximize revenue.
Right. We're here for the shareholders. Think of all the good things we've done for the shareholders.
Yeah, which
includes us.
Which includes us.
Yeah. Think of all the good things we've done for us.
How
won't someone think of us?
Right? They're going like, oh, these people shouldn't have jobs. They should be fired and replaced with AI instead. And I don't know why.
Look, we barely have jobs.
Why would anyone even jokingly suggest getting rid of me for an AI?
Exactly.
I wouldn't get money if they did that.
Yeah, and you know, I know I couldn't do this without you.
And
it's us.
Right.
You and me.
And me not having money would be bad, and I don't like that. So they're being mean.
They are being really mean to you. So what do we do?
I vote we use the AI.
Right.
We look up the names of all the people that were mean to me.
Yeah.
And we find their voice on, like, TikTok or something.
Yeah.
And we make it sound like they're saying really rude things that they'll get in trouble for.
We bought that company with all the short video thing.
Yeah.
And that's got all, like, the face replace features and all the filters and stuff,
so we
right?
just make it look like they're saying some slurs or something.
Well, yeah, we've got all of their biometric data, right? So we just feed that into the AI, and then we make new videos saying how nice you are with their faces.
Oh, I do like that, actually. I do like people saying nice things about me.
You are a fucking genius.
Sounded just like me.
I know. Right, we've cooked these chips twice, and I think I don't think that's quite enough. What if we cook them a third time?
I mean, I do hear that really gets a good balance of crispy outside, fluffy inside.
We cooked them, we boiled them, we grilled them, we've fried them.
Well, look, if triple cooked is better than double cooked.
Well, it seems to be.
Right.
They're very crunchy, it's very good mealy interior, good crunchy
outside.
Well,
what about we keep going? Quadruple cooked chips.
Right. What will be the quadruple chip cookery thing?
I don't know, deep fry.
That was the third one.
But like battered deep fry.
Oh, right.
Like there's a thin layer of batter and we deep fry them again.
Right. Okay. So they're not just chips anymore. They're now battered chips.
Yeah. Yes. But that's the fourth cooking. So we still just call them quadruple cooked chips.
Right. What if we quintuple?
What's the fifth one?
I mean, if we can cook them that many times, what if we wrap them in a pastry and Wellington them?
I suppose we could do that.
Yes, sort of Wellington chips.
Okay.
Quintuple cooked, deep fried Wellington chips.
What's the next number up?
Sextuple.
Sextuple. Oh, I like that.
Well, yes. What if we took a regular chip and we put it inside a deep fried chip, and we put that inside a Wellington chip,
Okay, what if we go...
a chip ducken,
What if we go up to like a 7th layer? We
Right.
do...
a septuple.
Yeah, septuple. We replace. We make a larger chip that
Right.
this chip can go inside.
Right.
That is actually just like a bread bun, but in
Right.
shaped like a chip. And you put the chip inside the chip, and then you toast that outside chip.
Right, okay. What if we took that and we then hollowed it out and we put like a potato soup in there, and then you could dip all of the other kinds of chip or cooked chip levels into the bread into the potato bowl, the chip bowl of chip soup.
Hi, can I get one of your octuple cooked chips?
No, we've only got non-tuple cooked chips left now because.
Oh.
That one. That one is. We take the bread soup, the potato soup, and we spin it like sugar over a balloon, and then we pop the balloon, and then you're just left with all this slightly ethereal potato.
It will take about 3 hours to make a batch.
Indeed. And then 3 more hours to turn that batch into the next batch up, and so on and so forth. So if you come back in about a week, we'll have your undecker tuple cooked chips.
Oh.
Come back in a week. Do it. All right. I hope that's not what I did to my customer. All right. Smoochy, smoochy, kiss, kiss. Lick your tongue. La 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 la. Best at kissing. Do you know what I want to see more of?
What do you want to see more of?
Brochure Justice Warriors.
Pressure Justice Warriors.
Yeah. All right, Larry.
Alright, Barry. How you doing?
Whoa, mate. Yeah, you know, it's been cold, and just had to take my boots into the repairers and get repaired.
Yeah.
Falling apart again, bloody things.
Yeah, what kind are they?
Well, I try and do the best to, not harm animals in any way. But
Oh, yeah.
I made the decision a couple of years ago to just buy one pair of leather boots, and I would treat them as well as possible, and I would, make sure that, they're not just gonna get thrown in the bin in 5 minutes. Because, I used to wear a lot of like Converse, and I find that after 6 months, holes everywhere.
Yeah.
I was like, canvas, that's not hurting anyone, is it? Canvas, bit of canvas, bit of rubber, that's all fine. And then your trainers similar, and of course, went and tried some of that vegan leather a few times.
Quote vegan leather, yeah.
Vegan leather, which is funny because when I was little, we just used to call it pleather or
Yeah.
plastic.
I mean, it is fundamentally plastic.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's not great for the environment,
No, it tends to shed microplastics very quickly.
I mean, I was... look, I try and make those same sort of conscious choices.
Yeah.
And, for a while, I was trying to buy, like, vegan boot brands.
Yeah.
Quote-unquote vegan leather boot brands.
Yeah.
And the problem I had, beyond anything else, was plastic is not a material that's really designed to be a shoe.
No,
And they fall apart. They would
Yeah.
they did not last well.
No.
And by the time I got to like my third pair of them, I realised I was like, I am just putting like plastic that will not break down for God knows how many
Yeah.
fucking hundreds of years.
multiple times a year.
Yeah, into the environment, which is not going to be good for animals either.
No.
And there are some. There
For all
are
the problems
yeah.
you can have with the beef industry.
Yeah.
It does currently exist, and therefore, perhaps, not going, well, I'm the kind of girl that needs 1,000 pairs of shoes.
No.
Going, I'll get a good pair of boots.
Yeah. 'cause
Maybe a good pair of shoes as well, if you need them for dress occasions or whatever. But, at that, leave it at that.
I know there are going to be some people who are, you know, a bit purist, who are going to go like, oh, you can't say that you're doing things veganly or whatever
True,
if you
true, yeah.
if you have a pair of leather boots. And,
I
you
met
know,
a hunt sab a few years back. I say a few years, probably nearly a decade at this point. Who would at parties, if a leather shoe wearer had parked their shoes in the hallway at a party, they would steal that person's shoes and go and bury them in the garden with a funeral and everything.
And like, look, I get it, but I do think there is room to be having a nuanced conversation around perhaps one pair of leather boots that you take good care of and is going to last a decent amount of time is maybe... It is, it is directly animal products, and that is not ideal, but it is maybe doing less harm on balance to the planet and, the animals that live on it than throwing multiple pairs of plastic shoes into landfill because your your vegan leather branded boots that are just plastic keep breaking and ending up in landfill, not decomposing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not an easy choice, but it's one of those where I think sometimes a thing that's going to at least return to the earth is maybe not the worst decision that could be made. And, and doing it in a knowledge of, I know this is not ideal and I am actively looking for good, sturdy, reliable, not going to harm the planet alternatives, but sometimes the best option you have is maybe just look after one pair of good boots that will decompose one day.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I thought I was doing exactly that a couple of years ago. Bought myself a pair of DMs in a very classic style, and I thought, that this will be it now. These will be the boots that will last me a lifetime, because I've seen people with that style of DM that have had them since the 70s, still going strong. Maybe they've been sold a few times and they've had new laces, but that's about it. And wore them for a year. Finally got through that difficult wearing them in stage, and took them to get them repaired, and they were like, "No, we can't repair that. That's plastic." I was like, "What? They're DMs. They are in a classic style." And the actual box and everything says 100% leather. No, not that bit. That bit specifically isn't. And you can see in various other places around the shoe that it is clearly leather. But in the one place that is most likely to get some damage, it got damaged, and they're like, no, you can't replace that. So I thought I was doing the right thing. I've only made things worse, and I got more annoyed. But then I also looked up, what it costs to get a nice pair of fully leather boots in a size that actually fits me, because I've got awkward fucking feet.
Yeah.
And it was like, that'll be about 300 quid. And with the best will in the world, I don't have 300 quid.
It's difficult making ethical choices. You just gotta try, keep trying your best and reassessing as you can. And no perfect choices, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't strive for them.
Oh, absolutely, mate. Speaking of perfect choice, do you fancy young man?
Oh yeah.
Good hug, mate. Good hug. Am I going to see you before UDP, mate?
Hopefully so.
Right. Well, I hope you have a good couple of weeks, and I'll see you soon, mate.
Yeah, you too.
Nice. Tongues.
To resist bursting into very silly laughter.